Should be on.
Okay. All right, folks, it's 7 o'clock. We'll open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, Kim. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Pass that down to Jenny.
Okay, first item on the agenda tonight is our consent agenda, which consists of regular meeting minutes dated January 12th, 2026. Our monthly bills in the amount of $177,366.53, and our treasurer's report. Any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I would ask for a motion.
I have a question on the bills, page 2, the board review training. That's kind of, I think, I don't know if we should move forward and approve that right now, the way it is.
Well, that had to be sent in because the deadline was before this, so that was sent in for someone to take board review training.
Okay.
Because the deadline was due before it, and they need to have training before the March board review, which didn't give us time to wait to pay that bill.
But then I guess my question.
It could probably be transferred if it's a different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But, yeah, all right.
So they can take the online training then too, right?
This one that we paid for was an in-person one.
Where's this at?
But if they opt to, if they don't want to go to the in-person,
Well,
there's a lot of online training between now and the end of, I think, February.
That would be a assessor question. I don't know. The ones that are doing it, I believe, are all doing it in person.
Where was that going to?
That was in Lapeer.
Somewhere in Lapeer County, but I
Oh, okay.
couldn't tell you.
Local.
Yeah, it's local. I just couldn't tell you exactly where it was at.
So
Maybe
it is transferable.
I would have to call.
I talked to the assessor today about it. He says normally it would be transferable name to name, if that happens.
But there was no time to wait because it was first come, first served basis. So it had to be sent in and paid because someone's got to take that training before March. And I want to say it's that training's next week, I believe.
One was the 19th, the one that is in Lapeer. I don't know. That's probably the one that it was.
So that's next week, right? So if I waited until now, the spots might have been filled up. So it was actually cut earlier this month, or the end of the month of January even.
So I know I had been told in the past that we could not pay for training for somebody who was not an employee. We have essentially paid for training for somebody who eventually will become an employee. How's that difference work? Just the fact, is it just
someone had to have it. It was that's his recommendation of appointment, and it had to be paid. So it got done beforehand. Otherwise, it's just the circumstances are not your normal circumstances. When Christy left, it was at the end of December, and they have to have the training before the beginning of March for board of review. So we took the initiative to get it sent in and paid so they could be on that one. So.
Okay, well, I didn't realize somebody left the board of review, so that's why I was wondering. And I know.
Yeah, it was like, what I mean? Normally this doesn't happen, but because she left board of review, was it January she stated she left?
Christy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so January, and then you got board of review the beginning of March, and someone has to be trained for it. So we took the initiative to go ahead and just pay it and get them signed up for the training. Someone's got to be trained.
Okay, well, I recall I had to eat about $300 worth of training expenses because it was a few weeks before I was sworn in. And the rule was we could not preemptively pay for somebody's training if they weren't already an employee. So seeing that looks like we can if we feel it's something we want to do.
I would say, yeah, if we need a third person, you can't only have 2 people on the board of review. So someone has to take that training.
Had this happened in June or July,
Right.
it would have been a little different. We were caught in a lurch. We had Lindsay Senstock, that was an applicant that accepted the position. And then she reneged on that. So we ended up 3 weeks out of a board of review with no third member. So at some point, we had well, that's what we're here for tonight, part of the agenda tonight. Appoint somebody to that. So I get your point. We'll have to research that.
So,
Okay, but either way, we have to send somebody to school to get them certified, so.
Okay.
You can't serve on a board of review without the class, so.
right.
Okay.
I'm just,
I get it.
the rules flexed a little bit there is all I'm saying, but that's okay. That's okay. Go
Can we add this to new business to have a discussion regarding this? Because I wasn't aware that she resigned either, because there was no resignation letter or effective date. We did not vote to accept it.
Well, I don't know necessarily if they have to vote to accept it, but I thought I had put a copy of her resignation letter in everyone's box. If for some reason I didn't, I will apologize for that, but I thought everyone was aware of the fact that she had resigned. I don't look at it as a earth-shattering event. We have people that are wanting and willing to serve in that capacity. And we have 2 people who have denied it, so we don't have much of a choice other than to appoint somebody. So
But we've already offered it to 2 other people.
it's been offered to 1.
Okay.
We have
You said-
an additional- we have an additional applicant
But you said someone else.
that has come in the 11th hour.
No, you said someone else before that. You said.
Lindsay Senstock.
Yes.
Right, she was going to take the position, okay? And then she decided 2 weeks later not to take the position. So that left us with nobody.
First I've heard of this. So.
Did we advertise or let people know? Did we let people know that there was an opening, or how did we notify Lindsay that there was an opening? I mean, I thought we were going to try, as I recall, we were going to try to reach out to the community and see if people were interested when these things
Had an active
happen.
list, Mike, okay, it's in my office, of people who are interested in these positions.
Mhm.
It is on our website that we always do take applications, okay? Was it reiterated that now we had a vacancy? No, it wasn't. Okay, no, it wasn't. But with an active eligibility list, I don't know if it was necessarily required. I guess that's up for debate if you care to debate it. It's a matter of opinion.
But what is the matter of opinion? It's something that the board has to vote on. We have to make the appointment. The board has to
You
vote
have to
on it.
vote on the person that is going to be assigned to that position. That's your vote.
Okay, we have 2 candidates tonight?
Probably have more if I went back in the file and dug them all out. Okay? So it's a board decision, ultimately. These are the 2 candidates that are before us tonight. I
So,
don't see that this is an earth-shattering event. I'm not quite following you or Rick. It's a board decision. We're not at that juncture this evening. We're still discussing the consent agenda.
Mhm.
We're a little off base here, okay?
no, well, the consent agenda includes a budget item to pay somebody by name,
We discussed that already.
and that's what brought it up. That's why we're walking through the
discussed that
discussion.
already.
That's a fair discussion.
You're comparing yourself to your situation to this situation. So that's been discussed. So if you want to move on to new business, we can discuss that under new business.
Sure.
We have not approved the consent agenda at this point.
I'd like to move to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 12th, 2026, the monthly bills in the amount of $177,366.53 and approve the treasurer's report.
Okay, you have a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda. Do we have support?
Or
Okay, we have support. All in favor?
I got a
Go ahead, Dennis.
question. Relative to the agenda, we have a park board report. I'd like to suggest we strike park board report under reports and move it to board discussion and eliminate park board reports under the report section.
That's fine.
That's part of the adoption of the agenda, part of it. And then I have a question on the bills. And I think, Jenny, I think it's the fire department.
Mhm.
We have Creekside Cleaning Solutions.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
February 25, March, April, June, October, November, December, pending. Are they all open?
So Don came to me and he said at the end of, or at the beginning of January, he sent these companies that do stuff for him and said, can you send me a statement that shows any open invoices? And those were all the open invoices. So she never gave him the invoices. So there, and I double checked to make sure because I put the months in there. So we had never paid them. Don, you have
Okay,
it?
so we owe them then, Don?
We don't, yeah.
Okay.
I call her periodically and say, I didn't get your invoice this month, and she says, well, it seems like it just doesn't go to you guys when I send it from the business, but she never sent it. So,
But they're cleaning,
January.
they're doing the cleaning though, right?
oh yeah, they're great people.
I'm going to have to withdraw my motion for the simple fact I missed a section. So if I could recall my motion and redo it.
Sure.
I'd like to move that we approve the consent agenda, which consists of the regular meeting minutes of January 12th, 2026, the township payroll and the monthly bills in the amount of $177,366.53, and acknowledge the treasurer's report.
We have support.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor with support. Any further comments, questions, concerns from the board?
Can we note in there that there was in the minutes, that there was a question on that one line item for the board review?
Mhm.
I'm fine.
And one simple question, I'm just curious, the $3,760 vehicle leak, was that one of the fire trucks?
I have no vehicles leased.
Oil leak.
It's an oil leak.
Oil leak.
Yeah, that was your ambulance.
Was that
Yeah, seal leak in the rear of the motor.
okay, yeah, I just wanted, it seemed like a substantive leak.
Lease, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Got it. That's all.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Our report section, fire department, Chief Smith.
Okay, you should have it in front of you. We had a pretty good month. I left town for a little bit to get with the warm weather. Came back to just a pile of work. In the middle of that, the state's working with wisdom, changed our reporting system. So hallelujah, I've had quite a couple weeks. You'll see I noted in the old plan, new plan. I'm trying to get a report that resembles what you're used to seeing. So far, that's as far as I got. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there is any.
There's not much difference between the two, are there, Don?
What's that?
There's not much difference between,
Not really, just there's a few bits of information and the way they list them is a little bit different.
yep.
In the new reporting system, they no longer use the inverse numbers. For like incident type 61 is dispatch canceled en route, no more incident type 611. It'll just say dispatch canceled en route. They streamlined a lot of the way that we report it. I'm not familiar enough with it to say, but I am seeing some gaps. I like to tell the story in my reports, and it looks like they don't want the story, they just want to know who went there, how long ago. It's interesting, but that may be me too, Dennis, I haven't figured it out.
Yeah. So the idea is to streamline it, make your job easier?
I can, to be honest with you, yeah, I can plow through a report in no time. But when I get done, it's really not if you were to pick it up, you'd have questions. What happened?
Yeah.
So I try to do my report for when we get called into court. My report makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing, where you could easily, with this new system, put in 3 or 4 numbers in a day or two and be fine.
Does somebody need to take a call? Somebody's phone ringing?
Yeah, I was about to start dancing.
I know. So, what, yeah, do you need to take a call? Your phone's been chiming.
No,
I
That's ringing.
I beg to differ.
Hello?
I think it's an alarm. I feel like it's
You
an
got an
alarm.
alarm set?
Sal, help him out.
There you go.
Oh, man, all right.
So again, Don, your false alarms and dispatched canceled 8 of them. Those are again, the 911 cell phone type stuff going on right there?
Yeah, I started using that one designation. I think there was 3 this last month. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that's a third of what your calls are.
Right. Bob Parcell goes to the surgeon tomorrow.
I was gonna ask you about Bob.
Yeah, the next couple of days, and gets his okay to come back to work. He's just like, driving himself nuts.
So how is the staffing for our MFRs then?
It's pretty good right now. We're back to where Jeff Riegel is able to work from home, and his home is the library at the fire home.
Oh,
So that helps us out a lot. We can always use more help.
sure.
You can see the runs are 27 this month, or 36 this month, which is a little low. They've been running 35 to 42. But they're still, I mean, they're still there. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they're coming, and they're coming regularly.
Yeah.
29 medicals, 7 traumas. It's nice to see the trauma number way lower than the medicals. That means they didn't hurt themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a crazy business. If anybody's interested, all kinds of space for it.
What about the gear these guys wear under these winter conditions? Is our gear is it heavy gear or do they rely on some of their own?
Well, if you go back in the minutes, probably 2 or 3 years ago, most everybody has 2 sets of gear.
Okay,
A heavy gear, which by no means is warm, nothing in the fire business is warm, is a little heavier, and then we have a lighter summer gear. The summer gear is really advantage because it's not as heavy and hot as the other stuff. And we try to keep that up. I'm currently grown out of my winter gear and passed it on, but that's basically the way it goes.
yeah, 'cause this kind of weather, you want the heavy.
There's just no way to stay warm in this weather.
Yeah, I believe
You
it.
see a lot of the guys now have the vests, the heated vests.
Oh, yeah?
Before that.
Yeah.
And we've been really lucky. There's some wood. We haven't had a major fire or water-related incident in this cold spell, which is really lucky.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks,
We're
Don.
lucky. I just warned ahead of time, we're lucky for a copy machine. It took me about 11 tries to get Gary's stuff scanned today. It's just had enough. So I'll get some pricing, we can talk about that. No problem. All right?
Don,
I do have some good news for you.
Okay.
I do have official word from Angela Edwards that the DDA is going to reimburse the fire department back the DDA capture. So that's about $10,000 right in through there. Money hasn't been paid yet. We'll do that within the next month, but they will be reimbursing it back to the township. So there's your new copy machine.
Excellent.
So there you go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend that much. I'd love to have a copy machine that prints copies for or color for the pictures, but I'm afraid of what the rest of the troops will do with it, so.
Anyway, I didn't know if you were aware, but I thought that was good news for us, the board, to know.
And
So,
asked me if it was okay. to
Yeah.
do it, of course.
yep, I've got the resolution already from the DDA board, so we're on track with that.
Excellent. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Don. Our police department report, any questions, comments, concerns, reference? The police department report, as well as the SRO report.
Back to no police presence too, right? They don't come to our meetings anymore?
If asked, they'll attend, okay? Not necessarily the chief every month, but we could have a patrolman here or a sergeant. If that's the board's request, we can make sure it happens. Anything else on the police report? Assessor report. We got a board of review starting March 3rd, I believe it is. Everything seems to be going fine. Talking to Mitch, or not Mitch, but Andrew today. He's doing several split applications right now. So things are moving along in the assessor's department. OEO, Mike, I'm gonna turn that over to you. You had some involvement in the spreadsheet that hopefully makes things a little more clarified as to where we are with our ordinance enforcement policies. Everyone should have a copy of that spreadsheet. Mike's been working with Ida, putting that together. So I don't know if you got any suggestions or concerns to improve upon that or not, Mike?
Well, the only thing I would say is Ida was also given a complete outline of all the rules and procedures. And my understanding is that she is rewriting those rules to kind of meet what the recommendations were. Ultimately, those are supposed to fit into this little gray box. They will never fit in that little gray box. But what I've asked Ida to do is not make this an eye chart, but to figure out how to, widen it out a little bit and to make sure, quite honestly, we might be able to just get one copy of the rules and the procedures and not see it every month. So those are the tweaks that she's still working on. What she has managed to do is to at least color code each of the different items for this year. So you can see whether or not they're resolved or whether they're in progress. Hopefully you won't see any reds, but that's what this is intended to do. We had her cut down on the amount of information. We made sure that the address was on there. And again, this is just so that we can track throughout the year and we don't have to look through the 10 pages of OEO field inspection reports every month and try to remember what was done or wasn't done. So hopefully this format is looking a little more workable. If anybody wants any input or changes, by all means, let me know, let Kim know, we'll let Ida know, and we can make tweaks. This is not a Picasso by any means. It's meant to be modified as we go. So let us know what you think.
Has she checked back in with you after she received my suggestions, recommendations with the policies and procedures?
I asked her directly if she was working to get all those baked in, and she said yes, she was. So I assume she is.
Okay. Do you have an idea when she will be able to pull this together for us?
I thought we'd have them tonight, but I'm sure she's busy, so
Okay.
we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I will make a personal promise that we will have them at the next meeting
Okay.
if I have to do them
Okay.
myself.
Because it would be nice to approve those policies and procedures as a board and get those
Nobody can agree
confirmed up.
with you more.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Mike.
Yep.
I like it, Mike. I think it's really a quick glance look at where we stand.
And that was
color
just
code
the
worked pretty
idea.
Good.
Yeah, that was just the idea.
But when you have the month like at the top there, line 11, is that October to December 25? Is that,
Yeah.
that's the time they,
That's the period. So where you have a problem is at the end of or at the beginning of the year, you've got issues that came up last year that are carrying over. So that's why that first section, some of those started as early as October, and she is including them in this year's report. It's just because they're still in progress.
they're open, yeah.
Yeah, and I think every year you're going to have a couple of month carryover in the first column, and then it should all be new stuff month after month.
No red, like you say, that's good.
Yeah, the reds and the blues are the ones that this board is going to probably want to pay attention to. And I think the guidelines that everybody, and we got really good input on the guidelines. They tend to define some very tight timelines. Here's how long you have, and here's when a letter goes out and how it goes out. And, it's intended to move the process along quickly. So,
Thank you.
If she needs some help, if she needs help getting this to a better printable document, she can send it to me and I'll fix it. I see that she's repeating columns in here, and that's an easy task to do, to just repeat at the top of each page in Excel and then fit to column. We'll fit the page going across, and then it'll just continue the rows. So.
thank you.
Easy formatting that could be done. That would make it a little bit better than a eye chart there.
Yeah, I don't want an eye chart. I'm getting too old for an eye chart.
I mean, I can see it fine. I just wasn't sure about the rest of it.
Thanks, Phil. That's it. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Any other questions reference the OEO? All right, we'll move on to public comment. Anything from the public tonight? Yes,
Did you want me to present
Sure.
what you asked?
if you could, yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Oh, no problem. Well, I'll give this to you. This is the plan. Keep in mind it is fluid. It's not in stone.
Hello again. I hope everything is going well for the Scottish Settlement Cemetery, but that's not why I'm here to talk to you. We had a change in plans. Last year I came to you about a living history village, and you asked me to just stick with the park board and not bother you guys, and unfortunately it's come back to you. I was worried about having an event of that magnitude and not having a guaranteed 100% access to the park backside. And since I was unable to obtain that, in the end, we've decided to team up with the Homecoming Committee and have it at the Bells. Now, I did speak to you, Gary, about what that meant. It is township property. That means you will have to decide and let us know if you want us to have it there. Keeping in mind there are baseball fields. There will be an old-time baseball game going on at some point over the weekend, but we would use the backside and steer clear of any fields or anything like that. The presented plan is just a bunch of reenactors going out there and setting up their camp. Jim Novak has been notified and is 90% there, but until the snow melts and we can really walk the property and see what we're dealing with and, how we can use it, nothing is guaranteed. But the first step was to come here and let you know that it is township property and we'll need some kind of verdict on whether or not you would allow us to use that property.
When does it take place?
It is going to now be during homecoming, August 14th, 15th, and 16th. When I was going to cancel it, I'll be honest with you. And I talked to the president, Paul Bowman, and he said, well, we really need that event because that was one of the biggest events that was going on that weekend, even though it was separate from homecoming. And so they talked about it, or he did, and said, well, why don't we just do it all under homecoming, which I was fine with. I'm still planning it. It's still me that you're going to be dealing with, but it'll be under their umbrella now. And it will be with the ongoings. We're trying to keep everything north of Van Dyke, or not northwest Van Dyke, because of the construction that is imminent. We don't know for sure, but in the event that it does happen, we have everything on this side so that people don't have to worry about the traffic or whatever. So
How many people would you, here's what I'm asking.
Mhm.
Jim Novak has been very generous in allowing the Little League and people to park in that parking lot.
Yes.
And there have been times when cars drift where they shouldn't go, and Jim has been very gracious, but he's also been pretty clear that we can't interfere with his business.
Sure.
So I'm curious, you know, like if
Especially
there's
their venue and
Exactly.
weddings or whatever. As far as I know, there are no weddings scheduled for that weekend. We are already having, and I say we because I'm now under the umbrella of homecoming. There are already reunions going on there. There are events going on at the Bells. And so he's nearly there. He just needs to have a plan like this to know what we're doing, whether it's in stone or not. He didn't care, just as you guys, this could change, but I will notify you of changes and make sure that everybody's on the same page all the way through as we move forward. And right now, there are 2 grants I'm applying for. The rest is private sponsor and the homecoming committee and the museum. So we're almost there.
Have you checked in with Rob McKinney to see if there's any baseball going on during that weekend?
No, I have not.
It's Rob McKinney.
Right. I was supposed to.
ROB.
Yeah, I was supposed to get his number.
Oh, I'll give it to you. Well, no, I won't. I can give it to you later. I
Or
won't give
feel
it to
free
you.
to pass along my information to him. That was just with Cindy, the discussion we had between the 3 of us is that he will be notified and hopefully they can work around it at this early date. So that's just something that I would, of course, talk to him. I don't know him, but I would talk to him.
I can help you with the number. He's a great guy. I just don't want to have
Sure.
a whole flood of cars coming in there and
Of
Jim
course.
mad,
Yeah,
Roberts,
yeah,
everybody, you know.
Yeah, it definitely has to be a collaboration among all of us. Otherwise, it's not going to work, and I'm not past pulling the plug on it. But we
I
need to
don't
find
do
out
that.
these things now. So,
I have a quick question.
of course.
You talked about the reenactors and
Yes.
reenactments. Are they gonna be like doing cookouts and
Yes.
tents? Are you gonna be setting like fires and
Yes.
the grass? That's
No.
not great for baseball
No.
fields.
No, not base. We're trying to
And
steer
the fire chief is like,
Well, here's the thing. Stick with me, Chief.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
okay.
I have already talked to Chief Smith, and it was regarding the park and how it would be handled. And this is not their first rodeo doing this. They know how to dig the turf. They set it aside, they replace it and water it before they leave. So it goes back to pretty much normal state. Again, we are going to try and stay away from those ball fields. But I can't even tell you what that area looks like anymore. It's been a long time since I ran track on the dirt path down there. So until the snow clears, we don't know much of anything. But I do know that we have been notified of the ball fields. And besides using one for an old timers game, we hope to stay away from them far enough that they will not be impacted. But it will be put back the way it was when the encampment started. So,
Here you go.
Okay.
any other questions? Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
So what would be the board's pleasure if Stacy talks to Rob McKinney and we could figure out a time frame that would not interfere with the Little League? Is the board okay with her using that facility then, or are we looking for a decision tonight? What's the board's feelings on it?
So it seems like almost like a festival kind of a thing. There's a lot of vendors and people that are
Well, I
going to
would,
be there.
just for the sake of clarity, I would call them all vendors. I
Okay.
would. And they all
Okay.
are being vetted for their own insurance. They're all being vetted
Okay.
for their own sales tax if they want to sell something. I mean, those forms are all in the works and being taken care of. But maybe what we need to do is, give you some time to think about it. And this week is supposed to be really nice out. Maybe I can get out there and map it out a little bit and see more of what we're looking at with no snow. I'm hoping that we'll be able to at least see some grass. And then we go from there. I come back to you or let you know, and we go from there. But just know that the utmost care will be taken to put everything back, whether it's in a field or at the backside of a ball field, should it go over into one. It's all going back to the way it was. But none of that will happen without the okay from this gentleman.
Ask him also about football practices, because
Okay,
the football
All right.
season is coming up in the
All
Little
right.
League.
absolutely. So baseball,
Stacy, let us
Yes.
know what Rob has to come up with,
absolutely.
okay?
Yeah,
One
but
thing
for
that I would, but what about restrooms and garbage cans up there too?
bringing them in,
Huh?
bring them in. They're part of the backside of that paper that I gave
Well,
you.
I haven't seen the paper, so that's why
Right,
I
no,
just
we
asked
are
the question.
bringing in other, the only concern I'm really concerned about is having an entrance from the trailer park in just for foot traffic and kids and people that aren't. Our request is going to be that they're accompanied by a parent, but without us having someone back there, we definitely have to post a person just to make sure that they're, not just going to be running around. So, I mean, these are all concerns. It's a whole new set of concerns than what I was dealing with at the park. And so, I'm just getting my feet wet with it. But definitely, if there are any other, concerns that you come up with or something else, another perspective I should be looking at, I would be more than happy to hear it and work with it and work it out.
I'd like to talk more about it at another time. Give us a chance
I'd
to.
like it to be like an agenda item, not under public comment, and if we have the
Of
information in
course.
front of us.
Well, I didn't know I wasn't going to be on the agenda, so I apologize for that. But that's just because I just came from the Historical Society meeting and they're deciding how much they want to do. And I'm kind of leaving one out of the frying pan into the fire. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of what was happening. And I'm going to proceed like it is going to be happening, whether it's going to be during homecoming and there, or whether we're going to, use our proceeds in another area. But I think this is a really nice fit, and it's worth trying to do and make work. So, any other questions?
Are these grants going in March? Is that what that means on the budget?
Yes. There are some dates that are on there because I've been working on the grants, but I'm waiting on numbers. Like the meeting I had with the Historical Society tonight, the board is deciding how much they want to sponsor. And the grant board needs to see that we tried to raise money outside of asking for grants. And people have been very generous, and I think it's going to be a go, but I have to turn them in by March, and that's just my little reminder that I need to get moving. So, but feel free to keep that and photocopy it, or, whatever you want to do. And if you have any questions,
Take the next one an agenda item,
okay.
okay? You'll have more information.
And that gives you time to think about it too.
Right.
And just figure out if you've got more questions or whatever. So,
Thanks, Stacy.
good enough. You're welcome.
Would there be any need for our attorney to be informed of this or not?
Run it by them.
I don't know. I'd prefer the.
Concerned
I don't know if there
with
would or not.
liability issues?
Right.
Well, I believe that the liability falls under whatever the homecoming is under. But I do know that Jim Novak carries the same insurance that the museum does, and I will be getting an insurance, which should be listed on there. But there's an insurance rider that I will be getting just for added, can't have enough with a weekend of unknowns. So the most I can do is to make it as risk-free as possible. And there's, still work to be done, but absolutely good question. So.
Okay,
All right.
thanks, Stacy.
You're welcome.
Anything else from the public tonight? Okay, new business, Yakabachi past due invoice on site plan. Kimberly Streeter drafted a second request for reimbursement from Mr. Yakabachi, and apparently he has come through.
Yes, I'm pleased to report that I did receive a check for the balance in full this past Thursday. So that was good news. And also just to report to the board that the clerk and I have discussed putting an additional level of oversight before things are scheduled from the zoning department. Those items, before they are done, will have to be just run through either my office or the clerk's office to make sure that the funds are there prior to an inspection, a meeting, anything like that. I think that will help avoid this in the future.
So Kim, you asked for that to be an agenda item, looking for approval from the board based upon your letter. Is that what the idea was?
No,
Process.
what I explained in the letter was that, we were gonna discuss it as a board if we had not received payment. And then I had also invited Mr. Akabachi, to our meeting to explain why, payment had not been made. But again, I'm happy to report the payment was made in full and we no longer, have to
Okay,
act upon this item.
okay. Any questions, comments from the board on that? Okay. Number 2, deputy treasurer raise effective February 17 of 26. That would be for Terry. And Kim, I'll refer that to you for explanation. I think she's due, right?
Yep, she's due. It is her 90 days per our human resource manual, and she's doing a fantastic job, and we're happy that she's here. And I would like to make a motion to approve the deputy treasurer's wage increase according to the human resource manual effective today.
Support.
The 7th, February
Oh,
17th.
I'm sorry, effective February 7th.
Support.
17th.
17th, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Support, yeah. I'll support it whatever day you decide.
Okay, all right,
Your
thanks.
motion on the floor.
It is
With
a,
support to approve a raise for our deputy treasurer effective February 17th, 26. Any further board discussion? Comments?
Just that number.
I'm sorry?
What is the number?
$20 an hour.
And she was at
18.
18.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need a vote, Gary.
So we got support?
yep,
Yeah.
Mike.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, board of review appointment. Discussed that a little earlier under the consent agenda. Krista Yarborough resigned. She's got her hands full with her business and other things. We had a gal by the name of Lindsay Senstock that was recommended and contacted. She decided that she wanted it and decided that she did not want it. Okay. So Kimberly and I sat down one day and we were going over the potential candidates, and Andrea Barra's name came up. Kimberly, in my presence, called Andrea to ask her if she would be interested in being appointed to the Board of Review. The Board of Review incidentally starts March 3rd. Andrea accepted it. She was put in contact with our assessor, Andrew Yankee. He got her enrolled along with the clerk in a certification class. So I am asking the board if they're interested in appointing Andrea Barra as our Board of Review appointment.
I move to appoint Andrea Barra as as a Board of Review member,
Add as recommended by the
as recommended by
supervisor.
the supervisor.
I'll support that.
Okay, so you have a motion on the floor with support to hire Andrea Barra as a Board of Review member. Any further board discussion, questions, comments, or concerns? None? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Streeter,
Yes.
Henneke, yes. Swears,
No.
Chris,
No.
Eschenberg,
No.
Dodge,
No.
Grossbeck.
Yes. Okay, the motion has failed. We have a person that was recommended for that position. And I believe is here tonight. Okay. Let's see if I can find his application here. I don't have it. Andrew Van Dyke. Okay, so Andy is interested. Andy's been a member of our community for 45 years. You should all have a copy of his application in front of you. He desires to be involved with the community that he has lived in his entire life. He is currently a self-employed farmer, our former electrical inspector for the township. So what is the board's desire?
I guess I don't understand. This was just turned in to the township. It's dated the 7th, which is this past Saturday. We have had other applicants, people desiring to be part of our boards and commissions on file. I don't understand, and I'm hoping that the rest of you will be open and transparent. I thought Andrea was a great candidate. She served for a number of years on the planning commission. She works in a municipal role, and has the additional training that goes along with that. So I'm surprised that she wasn't your pick. And I would wondering if you guys would be transparent enough to talk about that.
You don't want to hear my comments, I don't think, because I just don't want to do it. I don't think any of us should have to say a comment about it.
I'm just asking, that's all.
And
I will.
Okay.
This was decided before this meeting. It's on our website that she is on the board. That is not how this works. In addition to that, she left the planning commission abruptly without a reason. She just gave a resignation letter. There was no reason, right? I haven't heard a reason. Haven't heard from her since or anything like that. She's been pretty negative online towards the township, the board, and so on. So the first part is the fact that she had quit the job that we had counted on her for on the planning commission with, again, really no reason. People are entitled to leave if they, but they should give some type of reason so that we can all understand. It seemed like it was more upset about not being re-upped to the chairperson position, or the fact that she put in the deal for the training that was very expensive and it got turned down. It seemed like that it was out of spite almost. So, and because that hasn't been explained, that's all I can go off of is my opinion. The rest of this has been kind of handled poorly, in my opinion, and the fact that, her name's on the website.
Can I,
The training's already been paid for.
Yeah, I'll take ownership of that. I was updating the website. I really didn't think it was an issue. I did put that on, so if I jumped the gun on that, I apologize. It had not been made official, so I do
Really gave the
apologize.
impression that none of this vote really matters, that it had already been decided. So
So I guess I'll make a motion to appoint Andrew Van Dyke to the Township Board of Review for a term of, I believe it's 2 years,
That's correct.
and to allow him to take whichever training fits his schedule, either to fulfill the already paid for training, or if there's online training, whatever it happens to be. But as long as it's done in time to meet the schedule to do the reviews. That was a long-winded motion, I'm sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say, can you repeat, because I got that's part of it.
God, please don't make me repeat it.
Term 2 years.
I want to make a motion to appoint Andrew Van Dyke.
Mhm.
I want to allow him to take a convenient form of training, possibly fulfilling the fee that has already been paid for the 19th or take it online. But with that, I put the caveat that the training does have to take place in some fashion before the beginning of the review sessions.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor with support to appoint Andrew Van Dyke as a member of the Board of Review. Any other comments, questions, concerns from the board?
Had we thought about going back and asking Lindsay, who had put in her application to serve prior, and we know she stepped out for a personal reason, which no longer exists. I mean, this was just submitted on Saturday, so I really didn't have much time to look at it. We've had people that have had their applications in for quite some time. Would it be fair to look at the other ones? And again, I know time is of the essence, so I would, I understand that we do need to appoint somebody, but I wish this had been handled differently.
We all do.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor with support. Any other comments? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Eschenberg,
Yes.
Dodge,
Yes.
Streeter,
No,
Swears,
Yes.
Henneke, yes, Grosbeck.
Yes. Okay, motion is approved. Welcome aboard, Andrew.
Andrew, can I get, are you gonna stay till the end of the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanna see if maybe the one that's already paid for, if that will work for you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, item number 4, Michigan Township Association Principles of Government Resolution. Every year, MTA makes a mailing to the townships in the state of Michigan with a Principles of Governance resolution. Every year, we do adopt it. I gave everybody a copy of that resolution. It is asking for all the board members' signature and date to be affixed to such. I don't believe I have to read each and every pledge, but I am recommending that we do adopt the MTA Principles of Government Resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt the MTA Principles of Governance and the associated resolution and to sign the document that's been provided.
Support.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor with support to approve the MTA Principles of Governance. Any other questions, comments, or concerns from the board?
Send it to Lansing.
I'm sorry?
Send it to Lansing.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion is approved.
Who circulates the document?
Well,
Or how do we do that?
I do,
And
but
it's a
we
red-
should do a roll
Yeah,
call.
it's a resolution. It
Roll
requires a
call?
roll
Yeah,
call vote.
okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Chris,
Yes.
Eschenberg,
Yes.
Streeter,
yes,
Swears,
Yes.
Dodge,
Yes.
Henneke, yes, Grosbeck.
Yes. Okay. Item number 5, mining permit renewals. We have 2, VP Capital LLC pit at 5694 Van Dyke. And another one that's called the Pansera Pit, formerly Bristol Pit. We have a review done here dated December 2nd on the VP Capital and December 3rd on the Pansera Pit from Corey Mayberry, our engineer, discussing both regulations and concerns with each pit. So, Mr. Pansera, do we have any questions for Sal this evening?
Well, I think Dennis and I were talking to Gary today, and there were some concerns that Dennis had there about some of the violations out there that are cited on there that have been just kind of rolling over from year to year. So I asked Sal to come in and address that to the board, and I don't know what he has, but I guess what we were asking for is to have this cleared up within the next year so we don't see it again, I think. I think a lot of it on the Bristol thing is because it's being shut down or not in operation, that now it can start the reclaiming of it, I believe.
That is correct.
So that's why he is here tonight, because Dennis had some concerns.
I have a formal letter for the township for the Bristol pits, saying that we are shutting it down. And it will be,
Think so.
for recommendations. This coming year.
Thank you, sir.
So I have talked to Corey about the reclamation part. He says, as long as I'm in reclamation, we can start taking down the fences, the gates, and everything will be restored back with grass and everything, which the intent is to have that done this year and get ready for development. I think that would probably take care of the issues or his report for the Bristol pit. If there was any issues on that, I think there were just gate issues or some fencing that was knocked down.
Signage and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense that this letter
Yep.
tells us what you were doing in the first place. Now we
Correct.
can launch that phase of the reclamation.
yep. Last year, we didn't do any mining. It was
I
all
was
just,
going to ask you.
yeah, so there was no mining done last year. It was all just using the spoils that was pulled out.
Yeah.
So, the fencing and stuff really was kind of pointless, but it will be taken care of.
So it's kind of converting a gravel pit to a man-made lake, because you got plans for site condominiums coming off Kidder Road eventually out there, Sal?
That is correct, yes.
So that site plan was approved?
That site plan has been in front of this board, or planning commission, yes, I'm sorry. They have seen it. Corey's been working on it along with the road commission. The driveways, yes. So hopefully we'll have that resolved this year as well with the road commission. And we can start moving forward with that project as well.
So then, I guess as far as the Bristol pit goes, we're not necessarily renewing a mining operation, because there's no mining operation going on,
That is correct.
and it hasn't been for a year.
Correct.
Oh, and there's,
Recognizing the fact that we're closing it down. How
and
many
that's,
acres is that water body there?
I believe it's almost 12 acres.
12 acres?
Yep. Yep.
So I know that it's not finalized, but have the slopes at least been knocked down and stuff so that it's not like an abrupt drop off?
Over half that lake has already been reclaimed. It's just the western portion where most of the equipment's been running that just needs to be fixed and resloped, but the water in itself has all been remained the same.
That's kind of the reason why we require a fence and signs is because of the slopes and
Well, the slopes
drops off.
have always been done. It's the grass didn't take effect, so every time the rain, it would just erode. You just have some ruts going on the slopes that just need to be fixed and regrassed.
so I guess it kind of changes the focus on the Bristol pit, because really Corey's got some really minor issues on that particular one that would really go away because of this letter, I think. Okay. So if we're following the reclamation plan, Sal, that would be what Corey needs to work with you on that.
Yes, that is correct.
I guess my question is, do we do anything on the Bristol pit? I don't either.
Well, we'll recognize the letter that Sal gave us tonight stating that the mining operation is closed. Okay, so that would close, I would think, that file insofar as being an active pit.
Yeah.
So I guess I have a question. If he's not done reclaiming it yet, he's gonna take equipment there and reclaim it. Should we leave it active so that he can move his equipment there and we don't have a neighbor saying, oh, but that thing's closed down, why is the equipment here?
Right.
See what I'm saying?
I would agree.
It has to still stay open.
I would say
right?
we just renew it with the intention it's gonna be taken care of within the next year. That way, you know, if somebody says, well, they were out here at 4 a.m., you know, running something or whatever. I think there's gonna be equipment there, finishing it up, leave it the way it is.
Probably makes sense.
You want to make that into a motion, Randy?
Sure,
Go ahead.
I just did.
No.
I would make a motion to, on the Bristol pit, to renew it for 1 year so that it can be reclaimed.
Support.
Okay. Suggest an addition to that, Randy?
Absolutely.
That we get a reclamation plan in accordance with the ordinance.
Well, shouldn't Corey be in charge of that?
Well,
I don't know.
There's already one on file.
oh, there is?
When
There should be.
yes, when Rickman originally had it, there was one already
On
filed.
the original file.
Yes.
Okay. I'm good.
Because he has to follow that plan for Corey to go out and say, it's final,
Okay.
yeah, that,
Sounds like there will be some busyness out there. Based on that, I will be reviewing your trust and agency fund balance. And I'll be in touch with you if we
Sounds
need to work that out a little bit.
Not a
All
problem.
right, thanks, Sal.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Did we have
Yeah,
support?
I supported it,
Mike
yes.
supported it. Okay, so the pit will remain open per Randy's recommendation and his motion. Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, motion is carried.
I'll make a motion
VP
for.
Capital Pit.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry? Did I miss you?
I was just gonna make a motion for the second pit. He already talked about it, so.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the application for keeping the pit open at 5694 Van Dyke.
Support.
We got a motion on the floor to approve the renewal on the VP Capital Pit, 5694 Van Dyke. We have support. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, Sal, you got this report from Corey?
I have seen his report, yes.
The violation on the setbacks?
Yes, which is all due to the berms being developed, yes.
Okay.
Yep, I have reviewed that. I did see Corey's comment on the sign.
Yes.
Once I did receive that report, I did walk around the property and there was one sign that fell that nobody saw, so I did put it back up. So all the signs are up,
Good, okay,
yes.
thank you.
Fence and gate is all up, that's all kosher.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Al. Item number 6, Roberta Knutson Park Board resignation. We have a letter here from Roberta. You should all have a copy, hopefully, indicating that she is resigning from the Park Board. So it would be, I guess, proper for the board to recognize that and approve her resignation.
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Roberta Cutson from the Park Board.
Support.
A motion on the floor with support to approve the resignation from Roberta Knutson from the Park Board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, motion carries
With regret,
with regret.
with regret.
Yeah, she was a busy gal on that endeavor, for sure, right. Public comment number 2, anything from the public?
Gary, Dennis, you wanted to slide Park Board in there, didn't you? Or do you want to put it?
Board discussion.
Under board discussion,
Oh, okay,
Randy.
I'm sorry, okay.
So I do,
Nothing from the public? Okay.
I do have a question. At what point are you required to sit through the meeting? When is your obligation satisfied?
Typically, an hour.
Oh, you've been here,
We need a signature
That-
from one of y'all.
That's
Bring 'em
fine.
up here.
Bring them up.
How are you? You're a senior this year.
You better get this signature on that too.
Thank
No, you guys were just having too much fun and I didn't want to.
Oh, yeah, we found it very interesting.
you. You too.
Here, I'll go ahead and do it. Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh, you just need one signature.
I know, but like,
One's enough.
Yeah, one's
enough.
That
Sure.
Thanks, ladies.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, correspondence. I just included some FYIs in your correspondence, nothing that's real earth-shattering, just for your own edification. Any questions, comments, concerns? Reference those papers.
The letter from Lombardo. The one from Sean Park. And then the newspaper clipping.
The one about the warming center also from Lapeer County, which we did put on the website for those people that need
I
that
did see that.
information.
All right, board discussion, park board ordinance and manager. Dennis, you've been real involved in this, and I guess looks like you're our park board rep.
Yeah, this has been debated for a while here, and I think what I wanted to bring to the attention of the board was there are two ordinances that cover the park board requirements. One is a village ordinance, one is a township ordinance. They read almost identical. And what it's requiring is that a township board representative, elected official, must sit on the township, or must sit on the park board, as well as the board must appoint what I call a citizen at large. So those are two of the requirements. Within our ordinance, it's the same for the village ordinance. So that puts 4 people automatically on the park board. And I thought maybe we wanted that option to say may instead of shall. But given that the park board is now working to establish a park operations manager, and that seems to have gathered some positive reflection in both people from this board, the village board, and the park board. So with that in mind, I guess wanted to hear from members of this board whether we wanted to change the ordinance. I really don't think we need to at this point. It'll require a township board member to sit on the park board, and we will also have to appoint a citizen at large to the park board. That's the way the ordinance is written. So I'm going to accept the position on the park board representing this board, unless somebody else wants it, which I don't think anybody does. And I'm going to try to move forward with the operations manager job description. The park board will review it at the end of this month and maybe come back to the respective boards for approval to pursue launching that part-time job. You've got a draft job description and some pay proposals from the park board. We can talk about that next month when the park board has finalized this idea and see, or we can talk about it now. If that looks favorable from members of this board and members of the village board, we'd like to pursue that and make the job of the park board volunteers a little bit easier if we had a park manager. And I think that would go a long way to making things easier. We're also going to lay down some policies and procedures as to how we deal with the DPW for park maintenance and so on and so forth. So at this point, I'm good with the ordinance. I thought we might want to change it to shall instead of, or may instead of shall, but I think for now, I'm okay with it. But I'd like to hear from the members of the township board.
So Denny,
Yeah.
the operations manager, I'm assuming that gets paid out of the park funds. I mean, we're already contributing the 17.5.
Right.
It gets paid out of that pool of $35,000. It's not an additional ask for half the salary or something for this new person.
I don't think so, Mike, but there might be a slight increase in what the park board requests from both village and township board at the end of the fiscal year, the beginning of the new fiscal year. I don't know where that's going to go. But like you have said before, the punch list of items that they want to get done at the park can start to add up, and there is a balance in the account as we have it right now. But it should come out of that budget.
I support this new direction. As you all know, I've talked to you all about it separately. I think this is really the only way to make the park grow. Because it was just structured so that it wasn't convenient. It was very cumbersome on a lot of the volunteers. So we're going to try to get that off the back of the volunteers and put this into a different accountability structure. I think it's the best way to go, and I 100% support the concept.
Thanks, Kim. Yeah, we're gonna find out by the end of the year, I think, if this goes forward and we can actually fill the position. Once we reach the point that we're good with this board and the village board, I think the job will be advertised probably by both our township and the village. So we'll put it out there on the website and see what we get. It's a work in progress.
Work in progress.
Yes, sir.
It's a step in the right direction.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's all I got, Gary.
One thing on that, that maybe the park board can consider is just paying some of the members to do, or some of the board members to do that. I mean, they're unpaid board members at this time. And for decades that worked, right? I mean, that has worked. People have gotten onto the board. They were interested in helping. They volunteered their time. They went up, didn't mind, going up, opening the park, closing the park, the skating area, all of that stuff. Those people have obviously moved on, and those that are there clearly did not want to partake in that, especially since we had a mad exit from the.
We did five resignations.
So, with $11,000 out to a potential employee, that would give a lot of bonus opportunity money for people to say, hey, for $1,500, would you run the music in the park, right? I mean, that's probably one of their biggest
That's a
deals.
biggie.
That's the biggest deal. I mean, would somebody clearly on the board, just take that over, get the sponsorship, go up there, open up the park, close it when it's done for $1,500? I mean, there's 5 concerts, I think. That's $300 a concert. That's a pretty good token, right? And it's still a far cry from 11,000. And same thing when you have these other special projects, could people give them some type of, token to do the work?
Incentive.
Yes, exactly.
As someone who was on the park board, and I stepped off, and part of the reason that I stepped off was that some of the things that this board maybe wasn't aware of, and I wasn't aware of, is that every time that park is rented throughout the whole season, from spring to fall, on Saturdays, Friday night, Saturday to Sunday night, you have a volunteer park board member that is going up after they're locked up. You're checking the kitchens, checking the bathroom. If that is not clean, then you have to clean it as a volunteer.
Right.
And that, not everybody wants to do that.
Well, clearly, I mean, that's why I've hit.
And I don't think money's the issue, because the generational shift seems to be very, very apparent. We had a different age group of people who were on there before. They loved it. They dedicated their time, and it was awesome. But we have a younger crowd now. People have jobs. People have young children. People have families, and they just don't have all that extra time that the others who came before them had to dedicate and donate their time. So the money is nice if you could find like a part-time kid or something like that, but I just don't think the volunteers are going to be swayed by that. It's not the money, it's the time factor.
Well, I do have 2 good news items that the music in the park has, Jennifer's taken that on, and that looks very positive moving forward again this year, even though we lost 3 of the members that were handling that in the past. And I have been approached by a young gentleman that would consider being a park manager. So, and this thing has not even got much legs at all, or meat, but one gentleman did approach me, kind of a young guy that he'd be interested. He loves the park. So that's kind of good news.
Really good.
That, I have to agree with Kim, that's a volunteering job that a lot of people don't like.
Dennis, what's the process from here, do you think?
Well, I think that the way I would propose it, Gary, is that we would look at this at the park board, because there's been more additional bullets added to the work, to this scope of work or this job position. I'm not happy with those. I think we need to discuss it as a park board and resolve it at the end of February and bring it back to this board in March and the village board in March. And then if the board's approved going forward to pursue looking at this a little bit more in depth, we would advertise for the position and see, it's seasonal, May 15th to October 15th. At this point, the ice rink in the park, we pretty much depend on the DPW to manage, take care of, set up, take down, clear the snow. They do a lot of work on that ice rink, and it, unfortunately, this year's been the best year for sustaining ice, but the liner has folded in and it leaked. So, but that would not cover the seasonal job of a park manager at this point, unless that grows. I don't know.
So you're talking 11,000 in salary to this person, correct?
Well, yeah, those are the hourly, you know.
So it's gonna be 16, 17,000 said and done, right? As a budget item. By the time you pay excise taxes.
It's back to Mike's
comp, all
point.
that
I think
stuff.
that the park board would look at that. It may increase the budget from this board to the park board.
I think that's a given.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
We gotta stop some of the spending. We gotta be careful.
Davis Engineering project updates, and you had this in your packet last month. Corey every year gives us an update on the outstanding projects. Rick, you had a question over Ray Shavers. Ray Shavers did come to see me Tuesday morning after last month's meeting, indicating that he intends on pursuing that endeavor out there, okay? Corey feels that it is not in his jurisdiction right now because it's basically a closed project, permits expired, so on and so forth. So we're kind of bounced the ball back in Ray's court. So that's why it wasn't included on Corey's report. So this is just an update. The questions, I guess, that would arise in my mind and probably the rest of the board's mind is, what do we do with these projects? And I don't want to enumerate them verbally here tonight, but we all have it on paper. Some are close to fruition, some are not. I guess it's something that's ongoing, always will be. We'll have to look into it. Any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions from the board to I guess, bring these people in to fruition and compliance? That's why we're here tonight, so it's under board discussion, so.
Something needs to be done on the first one.
Yes,
That's at least 4 or 5 years that it's been on this report. It doesn't look good. It doesn't set a good example. It's hard to hold the other folks accountable when that
I
one's
agree.
still hanging out there. The other ones are pretty much, I mean.
So what are we gonna do on the first one then? I mean, hope is not a plan after 5 years. I guess we gotta do something.
There was
the
a
main issue out there is this detention pond, I believe.
Right.
Okay. The way I've got that discussion is he owns the property that pond is supposed to go on. So I guess there's some opinion as to whether that is that important or not, but it is part of the site plan. I guess we would have Corey maybe review that again, and if need be, have our building department go out and.
The detention pond was supposed to be between the building and the house.
That's what, Rick?
Was supposed to be between the building and the house. That's the way it was on the original site plan.
So I
When he
think it-
purchased the property to the south, the question was asked, could he sheet flow rather than have a detention pond? Could he sheet flow it to the 10 acres to the south? Corey said that the ground is capable to accept it. The problem is that it's a separate piece of property. So if they're going to sheet flow the water on there, there needs to be an easement put on the deed. Otherwise,
Can't sheet
if
flow.
if they sell that property and you sheet flow that huge building, that big parking lot into somebody and they build a house there, there's a problem. So it needs to be laid out on the deed that that area needs to be at least made aware of whoever purchases it if it gets sold. I have absolutely no problem with him not putting in the detention pond and sheet flowing it to the south, as long as it's put on the deed. And I think that was Corey's recommendation.
Right.
But there's not a willingness to put that on the deed. So,
On the owner's part?
correct.
Okay, so
But
I
at
mean,
some point, this has to get resolved. I mean, either one or the other, but it needs to get closed out. So,
well, it seems to just be hanging out there. I think if Corey believes, if he reviews it, and believes it has to be either or, like Rick said, well, then I don't know that we really have a choice other than to mandate that it's either or. I don't have the history on it, but if you gotta do something, you gotta do something, or, I mean,
the first site plan went 10 plus years or whatever, it got closed out, and he started all over from square one with a new site plan, new building plans, construction, all of that. Went through the whole process again, but here we are stalemated again. It's not finished. They've been in there for, 6 years now at least, probably, in the building, conducting business.
That project, and I think it's a great project, okay?
Absolutely.
It's an asset to the community, so on and so forth, so I don't want to be critical of it. But it started out with muddy waters from day one, okay? And then when Construction Code Authority was given the authorization to build, to be the inspecting agency, that was one of the problems, okay? But I guess, from my viewpoint, we'll draft a letter, I guess, if the board feels it's appropriate, which I think it is, urging the individual to come in compliance with his site plan, or, like Rick says,
It would be an amendment.
right.
It would be like an as-built type
Right.
thing. I don't think it has to be.
So I'll
Yeah.
draft a letter to that effect, and we'll see what kind of response we get on that one.
In order to be consistent and to be fair, then in order to resolve all of these as a whole, then everybody should get a letter.
They should.
So I don't know if our zoning administrator can work on that. That would be under her
Under her purview.
purview. And let's bring it up to date. That way we have something current, and we can all perhaps be given copies of the letters for the next board meeting.
Sure.
I know that typically that it was when on their anniversary, they had to come back in front of the planning commission and basically state their case of where they were. Because you get a year to start and a year to finish, 2 years total. It's in our ordinance, but it gets violated often. But with them coming in and saying, hey, I just, it's January, I still have to plant my trees. I can't do that right now. I'll have it done by August. So we would give them like a 6-month or whatever extension, and it would get closed out. There's a couple of these that have gone beyond that. Some are bigger projects, like Pinecrest clearly cannot be a 2-year project, right? I mean, and maybe that's something that needs to get looked at, is that some.
That's an active building going on over there. There's
Yeah.
nothing behind schedule on
Right.
Pinecrest.
Exactly, but I'm saying the year to start and the year to complete.
Hiabachi
doesn't
should
fit.
be taken off because that's a dead thing. That's a restart. There's no way that they're gonna regenerate the current site plan. It's 2 years old. Nothing's happened over there, so.
That's the one that Kim
So that's
just got
pretty much
paid on.
dead. I think Blake's has pushed them out to coming before the planning commission now in April or May, so they're still sorting out what they really want to do.
STE is almost done, Vintech,
Would it be worthwhile if the zoning administrator submitted a form to the board for the next meeting, along with the letters that are sent out, and just addressing each project as far as the action that will have been taken from now until the next board meeting? That way, we can get some of this old stuff closed and off the list. And just make our document more current.
Nice punch list.
Yep.
Did your issues get resolved out there as well
Which,
at Smokehouse? I know you had issues.
yeah, as much as there
God,
Well, you're fighting a battle there. that you're not-
Right. That's why we're here 5 years later. Right.
If the development generates rainwater runoff from hard surfaces, a retention pond is required. If you allow them to sheet drain it on this ditch or on someone else's property, you're doing a disservice to
It's his property. So that he would be sheet flowing it to, so. Correct. Yeah.
But if it's recorded on the deed and the property is ever transferred to somebody else, then it's obvious and notorious that there is going to be a water problem. Right? Oh, maybe not. And they may be okay with that. I'm just saying, at least they know all that water's coming this way and it's not going to change.
Make that suggestion in the letter. So, okay.
Doesn't matter. I just don't want to have a bunch of things hanging out there that we're not addressing.
You should have a better document next month, hopefully. A little bit shorter, more concise.
Okay, that's all I have from myself. Anything else that the board would like to discuss?
Yeah, I do want to just take a minute. So I shared with everybody kind of a write-up of a review that we did of the building department. You either have it in your mailbox and you have it electronically. We met with the members of the building department, kind of got an understanding of the permitting process, how the money gets distributed, how it's being booked. I guess the good news is they are converting everything over to the BS&A system. That should be done by the end of this fiscal year, which is June 30th. We also have some procedures that we made recommendations on with respect to how inspections should be, I guess, assigned, how they should be performed and so forth, so that we don't have, 5 people doing things 5 different ways. What we're trying to do is to come up with a consistent, repeatable process that all the inspectors follow. So if you look through what I gave you, if there's anything there that, draws your attention and you want some clarification on, we'll get it from the building department. But I think they are trying to, let's say, streamline their systems and try to do a better job with accounting for the debits and credits as permit fees come in and as payments get made. So you have that there. I don't think there's any need for any kind of a motion or anything at this point, but wanted to make sure everybody was aware of what we found when we met with them.
You said they're going to start using BS&A.
They have started, but
What were they using before?
Oh, I don't know. They are,
They were using BS&A, but not to its full extent.
right. So they are trying to get it, right now, I was told there's still some glitches that they're working through. They hope to have it working well. They are using it, but they hope to have it fully working and well by the end of June.
So the BS&A software, it comes with separate modules, right? And so we pay for each add-on, right? So we've been paying.
And they
For
were
that.
using it, but not to the full extent of what it's capable of.
Do we pay for the OEO add-on, for violations? Because that can be done in there as well, right?
It's
So that when you
it's
put- when
part
you
of
put-
that.
Is
It's
it,
part of the building program. That is not utilized. I believe it could be.
is it something that is extra that we are paying for? Is it
No.
a separate module or is it?
No, it's
No.
part of the building.
It's already
module.
in there.
Because that would, because then when something comes in and there's a, there's a complaint, it goes against the address and it stays with it, right? It doesn't go on a spreadsheet and then falls off, because
I know Laura told me she would love to do more training and use it to its full capacity that it's capable of using it for.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Especially, we're gonna get locked in here to BSNA pretty soon, right? Because they're gonna change their system and go to the cloud and all that. And once we're locked in, we're
Yeah.
kind of locked in, so we might as well use it to its full extent.
Anything else? Dennis, anything else?
I'm good.
Rick?
I'd just like to have a copy of Christie's resignation letter,
Get
since
you
we
that.
didn't get that, so. And I think we need to accept it. I was reading earlier, the correspondence that we get from the MTA, and I think this one just came real recent, the Township Focus, and it talks about resignations, and it talks about that the board needs to, one, acknowledge it, that it was received, and two, we have to approve it because of its effective date. So that there's some specific language that's called out in here, so.
I read that today, right?
Also.
Yeah.
That's more geared towards elected officials, but yeah, we can do that, Rick. I don't see a problem with it. We'll put that on next month's agenda. Kim, you have anything? Jenny? Randy?
Yes, two things real quick. Back to board review real quick.
Yeah.
Alternate, do we have an alternate?
Gotta come up with an alternate.
I would just maybe look for an alternate, just so we have one, because I was reading in the book today, they usually have one. The other thing, real quick, where are we at with the police contract? Are we meeting with them? What's going on?
The latest I got today was from the police chief. Dale and I have been in discussion 3 or 4 times, and he's been very cooperative. The chief was up at a Michigan Association Chiefs of Police Convention in Battle Creek last week. Dale was waiting for some budget requests from the police chief, which he has now in his hand, okay? Dale and I talked about getting together as soon as possible, and I will talk to Dale tomorrow, but the word I got is that Dale and myself are both gonna be on vacation, me leaving the 20th. Dale was somewhere in there. His idea originally was to get together prior to that, but it looks like it's gonna be first week of March.
Okay.
But I'll have a more definite answer for you tomorrow.
Jen, did you have anything?
No, I don't.
Mike, you have anything?
Well, I would make a motion, if nobody has anything, to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
Mike, could you turn us off?
I did it. That's what you wanted.
I'll get with you,
Can you?
okay?